Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to your wonderful, soulful morning. Let's start our wonderful morning by being in gratitude, by checking our posture, by closing our eyes, and taking a good 100 seconds to think of all the wonderful things that have happened in the last 48 hours. Once done, just be aware that life is a blessing in itself. There's so much one can do, and so much keeps unfolding in life. And how about checking our own willpower? There's a reason why the word will is followed by power. I will do it. And the minute you say, I have a good willpower, you're saying, you're affirming that yes, there is power, and whatever I tend to do or plan, I do it. And even if you become weak, you will not falter because you have affirmed that I have a good willpower. Today, let's tune into our own masculine and feminine energy. We all know that every human being has a beautiful mix of Shiva and Shakti, yin and yang. But when masculine energy overshadows feminine energy in our body, it doesn't matter whether we're a male or female, then problems happen. From ages in the world, on Mother Earth, on our beautiful planet, feminine energy has been suppressed. Even as we speak right now, there are women out there who need a male to take her out. She can't do anything on her own. Her decisions are also taken by males. Now, that is the manifestation of suppression of feminine energy by the masculine. But when the same happens in her body, what happens? Let's understand what is masculine energy and what is feminine energy. Anything with a foundation, with a base, is masculine. You want to correlate? Think of a building. The facade, the structure, the pillars, the base, all of that is masculine energy. And whatever happens inside the four walls, how the house flows, how the drawing rooms are done, whatever is creative is feminine energy. One must complement the other. Without this, there will be no balance. Without this, there would be no harmony. So everyone requires both the energies. In the nature, let's understand that masculine energy is an energy that makes ideas, that plans, that gives structure to something. Feminine energy is the one that takes it to fruition. So imagine just having masculine, not having feminine, or just having feminine and not having masculine. It is very, very, very important to tune inwards, to understand. Now, one more thing about masculine energy is, how do you understand which energy is predominant? Like in me, from childhood, from my birth, masculine energy is a predominant feature. But I can't say that I need 50% of both. It's not possible. It's not humanly possible for me because my predominant energy is masculine. But what I can do is look at myself and see if that becomes heavier on feminine. And whenever that happens, I'll be struggling. How will I be struggling? I'd be looking for validation. I'd be looking for love, but not accepting with my ego that I need love. Masculine energy needs to be nourished with love, nurtured with kindness. If we are not being kind to ourselves, if we are not nurturing ourselves, our feminine energy is suppressed. If we are only trying to put a strong facade outside, our masculine energy is predominant. You may say, oh, then everybody's masculine energy is predominant. No. If you can think of any woman in your, it may be you yourself or your parent line or in-laws line, anywhere, there are some who are just givers. Givers is the feminine energy. Takers is the masculine energy. Now you'll say, oh, but then everybody's feminine energy is predominant. No. Everybody has everything. What is predominant is something you will know when you analyze yourself. My feminine energy rises beautifully because I give a lot. But even then, my masculine energy supersedes. But the minute my feminine energy is suppressed, I'm all about ideas, 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 but they don't come to fruition. But the minute I work on my harmonizing it, things fall in place. And in our life, for things to fall in place, we don't have to do anything much. What we need to do to balance this energy is super simple. Take your 5 fingertips right now for both hands and gently touch your body from up to down and down to up, left to right and right to left. Like, as if you're just slightly stroking. Just slightly stroking. What happens in this is your blockages in your nadis, your energy channels, which could be stopped, gets strengthened, gets activated. Now you'll say, how does this work? Do and see for yourself and see the change in you in the day. All of a sudden, you'll not just be a giver if you are, you'll also be a receiver. You'll find this change immediately. This also gets balanced when you go for a massage, whether it's self-massage, proper with pressure, or it's with somebody who does it for you. this also gets balanced when you do tapping. And those of us who have been in LTS, we have studied the book about tapping, about the wisdom of tapping, about the value of tapping. And if you were missing from that session, please go online and Google on YouTube, just type in simple methods of tapping, and you will find that take your 3 fingertips or all whichever come, tapping on the sides of your forehead, tapping in the center of your eyes. There are points there. Tapping under your eyes, tapping on top of your head, tapping on your neck, points. There are points. I also like to tap all over my face, all over my body. That is again activating all the nadis, all the channels. So if you do not want to go on YouTube, let it be. Just knock, 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 tap, 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 tap all over the body. And you'll again find that you are able to do so much more. What you weren't able to do yesterday, for some rhyme or reason, today you'll be able to do it. Because today you have harmonized both your energies the way they had to be. Maybe your feminine is more, maybe your masculine is more, it doesn't matter. So even if you've not been able to analyze yourself, it doesn't matter. And I hope right now you're tapping all over your body. Remember, doing is the most important. We may hear, we may spend a lot of our time like on YouTube, listening to great things, or on podcasts, or coming here, or reading a lot of books. But if we don't implement whatever we have learned, then it's only bookish or out exterior knowledge. Interior knowledge gets translated into wisdom when we start practicing what we preach or what we learn. So every morning in your shower, that's the best time to do this. Tapping. That's the best time to touch your body lightly, is the time when you sleep. Put a post-it on your bedside lamp or your bedside table or wherever, whatever. Or maybe put an alarm on your mobile. It's time to nurture myself. Lightly touch myself. And if you're a partner, you have a partner, then you can tell him or her to caress your body. It's also very sensual. It's also good to sleep. You can do it for him or her. She or he can do it for you. So ritualizing something depends completely on us. There are no hard and fast rules for anything. Morning, of course, massage and tapping is something you should do. Winter's anyways coming in. It's maybe your body needs some olive oil or coconut oil. Massage yourself. Before or after shower doesn't matter. Once a week, try and take a professional massage. Ayurveda talks a lot about it. There are reasons for it. It's just not for pleasure, physical pleasure. It's not just for relaxation. It's for activating your body. Because our body tends to have stagnant energy. Now, for stagnant energy, please correlate. When you get really angry, there are bursts of anger, there are bursts of frustration, there's stress, there's anxiety. All this is stagnant energy waiting to be released. So when you don't release from your body with these gestures, how will you release them? By barking. Or if you don't do that, how will it has to come out, right? How will it come out? You'll fall sick. How will you fall sick? You'll get a flu or fever or so much of body ache, stored body ache, like in a particular part, and you're like, oh shit, this is my stuck up energy. Now, any body part, if it hurts, tap it, tap it, tap it around that area, in that area. Keep tapping, and you will see over 5 days that body pain would all of a sudden just vanish. Another thing to balance your masculine feminine energy is put on music, the healing music, the Buddhist singing bowl music. I use this app called Insight Timer. It's the most ultimate app for meditation. And if you pay, and if you're a paid member, subscriber, then the world opens up for you. But if you want to use it free, just type on it like a free member, give your details and account, and then they'll ask you to check in your mood, blah, blah, blah. Just do it a quick thing. Do not have to do a detailed thing. They'll ask for many stages. Just say it's complete check-in in whatever you're feeling. And then just on the magnifying glass, find healing music. There are times when my breathing technique doesn't work and my mind has been very anxious and body has been very tired. And then I put on sleeping music, 20 minutes, 18 minutes, guided music, or just music. This also harmonizes the yin and yang energy. Now that we've understood about this, let's fold our hands. Be grateful for this new learning. If it was new or if it was old, then be grateful for a reminder. Those reminders also come to us for a reason. Touch our hand. Thank our heart. Sorry, did I say touch your hand? Touch your heart and thank it for growing expansive, for taking in so much new learning. And from the same place, expand your hands to bless. Bless far and wide. May the masculine feminine energy on Mother Earth in all beings get harmonized, be balanced. Balance is not actually the right word. Be harmonized. Balance means 50-50%. Harmonized means they're in good harmony. That's what we want. So just feel the energy from your hands going in and blessing. As long as you feel the blessings are going, continue to bless once you think they're done. Rub your hands together. And spread all over your body. Love, light, and tons of blessings, oceans of blessings. Now we start a beautiful book. Miracles happen every single day. And that's how beautiful this world of ours is. The miracles, lots of them happen. We'll be reading this section called We Are Always Free. My client, a white female in her 50s, relayed a story to me during a therapy session. In her present life, Jill was a social service worker who single-handedly began an inner-city soup kitchen. So soup kitchens overseas are a place where people in the community come together and they serve food. Now the food is made there, like some people give one fistful of anaj a day, or some people just give their services, and together they feed the underprivileged. This is a very common culture overseas. As a girl of about 10 years, if you didn't know, I just thought I'll explain. If a girl of about 10 years old, she had gone to Mount Vernon to visit the home of President Washington. During that visit, she began to remember a past life. To her and her aunt who had taken on the visit, Jill's reaction to seeing the home and to viewing photographs was strange. She recognized a little girl whom she said she played with in this house. She also talked on about, sorry, I'm not able to get it. She also talked on about, or she talked on and on about the placement of furniture in the Mount Vernon estate and how it was all wrong. I recognized the story as a past life memory, and Jill was open to the idea of exploring it further. She came to one of my workshops and easily regressed. There, she put all the pieces together of this haunting memory. As Jill relayed to the group of us at the workshop, she had found herself as a 10-year-old black slave in George Washington's home at Mount Vernon. She had played with a little girl named Nellie, and she later moved with the family to Philadelphia. She remembered that her mother was a black slave who was a seamstress and her father a white tailor. She called herself a mulatto. Later, this young woman fled on a ship to freedom and settled in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where she married a free black sailor and had 3 children. She remembered living in fear that she would be found and taken back into slavery, but she remained a free woman until she died peacefully in her old age. My client was able to get dates as well as location, as she stated that her name was Oni Judge. When I asked what the lessons were for her that lifetime, she responded in a very free voice, in a very different voice, the voice of her soul. We are always free. And this is something we all must think. हमें लगता है bondages हैं. I'm a man, I have to be the breadwinner. I'm a woman, I have to be the housemaker. Like at least that's a minimum that we do. Plus, if you're a man, I can be a housemaker. If I'm a woman, I can be into business or something creative. But the baseline is we know what we have to do because society has told us so. But actually, we are all free. We are free from any bondages, any stigmas. It's just that how much do we realize? And what it means is at the soul level, we are free. Yes, we have soul families that we reincarnate with. But when we decide to come on Mother Earth, it is our decision. Yes, with the guidance of angel guardians, masters, teachers, loved ones, soul family, but we decide alone, we are always free. Later that evening, Jill's partner went on the internet and yelled at her to come quickly. There on the computer screen was an African American history website describing the life of a courageous young slave who had fled to freedom, one Ona Judge, the runaway slave of George Washington. All of what Jill had relayed to the group of us that night in the workshop was verified by the website. She had gotten many of the details correct. Jill has no recollection of ever studying this in history class in his school book, and she probably did not. As African American history was not taught in the days that she attended school, she also did not grow up in Portsmouth. Jill is still in progressing and integrating this information. She finds much comfort and relief in finding out why she had these memorials at a young age, around the same age that Oni was at Mount Vernon. Regression has also been helping her to integrate parts of her personality in this lifetime, as well as to determine her future goals. Maria Castello. Every so often, a geographical stimulus will precipitate the past life memory. No hypnosis is necessary, just the visiting of the local. In this case, Maria's clientele began to spontaneously recall details of furniture placements and other historical facts. Years later, a regression and some internet search provided further validation. Interestingly, the profession and judges in Jill's current life mirrors the issues found in the life of Ona Judge. Wayne Daniel also expressed past life recall when he visited the archaeological excavation of the ancient Essene community. To physically return to the site of a previous lifetime is a powerful trigger and can evoke both strong emotional detailed memories. If you visit a foreign city and feel a marked aversion on the other hand, a strong positive connection to the place, origins of these feelings may lie in your lives, in your past lives. You have all lived many lives and have tasted the beliefs and cultures of nations from all corners of the globe. The possibility of verifying the details of a past life is undoubtedly an intriguing aspect of regression, particularly for those people who might be skeptical about the memory they have just recalled. The person who wonders, was that really a past life memory or just my imagination, may find that having actual evidence that validates the data of the experience helps them to escape it as real, or at the very least, to recognize that the mind is capable of knowing things at a level far beyond the standard five senses. It certainly did for me when I was treating Catherine, my first patient, to regress to a past life. I did not believe in this concept at all, yet I could not deny that she was rapidly healing, nor could I refute that she was able to provide me with unknowable and quite detailed personal information about my son, my father, my daughter. Had she not provided me with this level of proof, I might not have been so compelled to research and explore the field of past life regression. So, again, understand one thing. When you are open and receptive, magics and miracles happen and they come cascading down onto you with such high velocity that you wouldn't even know, wow, what struck me and where have I reached? Amazing. Just because you have been a believer. Most of us, at one time or another, have had a dream that may have been chronologically inaccurate or impossible, even logically, yet move us to a new level of understanding or insight upon awakening. A dream analyst would never think to write of such a powerfully evocative event because it is inaccurate or untrue. This is also the case with past life regression, like dreams, past life recollections, because they sometimes retrieved from very deep states of consciousness, may contain symbols and metaphors as well as actual memories. Such symbols and metaphors need to be interpreted so that the meaning and the message become clear. A dreamlike or symbolic past life memory is no less powerful than a literal one. The mind sometimes displays the past life scenes more like a poem than a history text. Past life recall is also subject to the same potential distortions as any other memories that we have in our regular waking consciousness. The memory may be entirely accurate, but sometimes dates and other details can be slightly blurred. Memory is like that. For example, what you are sure happened to you in kindergarten may have actually occurred in the first grade. 99% of the memory is correct. However, and that one mistake does not invalidate the general accuracy of the recall. Emotions and themes tend to be extremely accurate. The most common distortions are in numbers, and other logical or left brain functions. The deeper mind is more concerned with understanding and healing than it is with details and dates. My previous books provide a more thorough exploration of the validation of cases. However, as the years have passed and as I have borne witness to so many of these cases, my focus has shifted a bit from the confirmation of the past life memory and towards its therapeutic value. It is rarely, if ever, the facts, details of historical accuracy of the regression that has a significant healing effect on the patient, but rather its emotional content, the feelings and relationships that are brought to the surface, the insights into life and into our deeper nature that are gleaned. The stories in the next chapter illustrate how such understandings can powerfully and permanently heal people's lives. How understanding can heal. Our bodies and our minds are the masks, our real self, our soul, which wears in the physical world. When we die, we remove our mask and we rest in our natural state. There is no disappearance, no oblivion. We simply take out our masks, our clothes, and other outer coverings. And we return home to the lessons of the life that we have just left on Mother Earth. Here we are united with our soul companions across the centuries. Here we plan our next lifetime on Earth when the time and circumstances are right. We don new masks, a baby's body and brain, and return to the physical state. With a refreshed energy and outlook, we continue learning our spiritual lessons until the need to reincarnate is no longer necessary. Then we can continue to help people from the other side. Now, understand this. They have talked about you die, you take decision, you are reborn, and you again start this process. In many books, Seven Realms of the Spirit, in many, many, many books, you will know that it's a spirit's choice. We are always free. The spirit chooses whether to reincarnate immediately or whether to work on in the spiritual world. Now, the spiritual world, the soul world, time is extraordinarily slow. If our 24 hours are 24 hours, there, if you equate the 24 hours, will be minimum 100 hours. So the work can be done much more faster on Mother Earth than there. But some people choose to work on their good acts and facts and keep working, keep honing up their skills. And those of us who've elevated are given a choice to become an angel or a guardian instead of going on Mother Earth. Because you are free. It's not that evolved people don't decide to come on Mother Earth. They come on Mother Earth for a reason, to raise the consciousness, to help. And that's who we see in a present day life as somebody powerful. For example, the Shirdi Sai, he crossed his body, left his body 100 years ago only. So it's not that he wasn't, of course he was evolved. Christ, of course he was evolved. They all came down here to teach lesson to humanity. Then even if you look in Sikhism, so you have people coming down as gurus and then crossing over. But what we are trying to understand is that when we understand this concept, that it is us who can heal, whether on Mother Earth or in between lives or in the new life, then a lot of shift happens. It is important to remember that we are the souls, not the mass. That's why Sadhguru's meditation there, I'm neither the body, I'm not the mind. I'm neither the body, not the mind. Like constant reminder that bhaiya, ye body is just a add-on feature for the soul to live and do its purpose. और हम ये add-on body में जो ये add-on monkey mind, analytical mind मिला है हमें, left brain मिला है हमें, there's a reason why right brain is always right, because it's a subconscious mind. And the left brain makes you think of analysis, logic, numbers. So again, we have to drop these masks, these facades. As we gain a higher perspective, I understand that our present lifetime is one of a myriad of lives that our soul has experienced over eons of time. The sense of explanation, expansion, timelessness, and joy that we feel can be palpable. We can let go of guilt, of despair, of feeling trapped and rushed. We have an eternity of time to learn our lessons. Our symptoms and fears are probably carried over from previous lifetimes. There's always hope for us once we realize that we are more than just a particular body and brain. Our greatest lesson is love. Remembering the causes of afflictions allows us to heal them. In doing so, the recognition that we are loving spiritual beings comes more and more into focus. This strips away our anxieties and fears. It removes the barriers to comprehending our real nature. And then we can reach our highest potential, healing ourselves and our world. Understanding can be immediate, a sudden perception of the meaning and implications of these ideas, a clear and intuitive knowing. Understanding can also be slow and deliberate. A percolating awareness as the veil of ignorance is gently lifted. Whether with Zen like immediacy or the gradual dawning of the sun on a foggy day, the results are identical. Many obstacles block a clear understanding. We are often force fed specific belief systems, both cultural and religious, and we are too young to comprehend, to reason, and to make decisions for ourselves. We may become close minded to alternate beliefs and systems. Information cannot enter a closed mind. Nothing new can be learned. Fortunately, personal experience can be more powerful than belief. Once you experience, then you know. For this reason, having a past life memory, whether through regression in a dream while meditating or even spontaneously, can be compelling enough to unlock a closed mind and to release it from the fetters of skepticism. Now, questions can be asked. Now, beliefs can be examined and re examined, accepted or rejected. Now, real learning can occur. For Heather, who presents her own story below, understanding came strongly and swiftly. She was able to restore her voice and also distill spiritual wisdom, which enabled her to heal her mind and to nurture her soul. My body is growing cold beneath the heavy chain mail. Choking on my own blood, I am aware of my impending death, yet I'm not afraid. I look up at the wet, gray sky, knowing that the battle was fought with honor and that I will die the same way. This is not a page from medieval fairy tale, but from a life altering experience that led to a restructuring of everything I thought I knew. I was never seeking my answers because I had no questions. But out of sheer curiosity, I decided to try hypnosis. Shortly afterward, I found myself in a previous lifetime. I've since realized that this life is a lesson, a school in which to learn. And each encounter we have is an opportunity to change and to help. We are all of in this together. And only love, only hope, only charity will be our salvation. Hope is our biggest gehna. Love is the biggest crown we can wear on our wonderful heads. If we start operating from love, life would become lovely. And charity is extremely important. Like some people tell, can think, ki, when I've contributed over the session, charity में तो जा रहा है. हाँ, but आपको उसका result भी तो मिल रहा है ना? You're reading books, you're learning, you're growing. So I hope you're doing charity on your own, or you've tied yourself with some institution you donate there. It's very important. You're cleansing yourself. Like every morning, we go for a shower. Why? To look pretty? No. Your body has stored up dirt in the night in the 24 hours that you've lived. There are layers of dirt, whether you see it or not. Without taking a shower, कभी तौलिए से अपने आप को रगड़ के देखिए without anything. Just put a little soap and just rub it on your skin and you'll see dirt coming out. Where is this coming from? Because we acquire this dust and dirt staying in India on our skins all the time. So that is important. Similarly, charity is like a shower for the soul. When you give with feelings of love, when you give with feelings of hope, that these people will be blessed because He has made me, Master has made me able to do this. It's not I, the body, I, the name, who's doing the charity. I am doing my first towards the soul that resides in me. That's why my name is not required. Then I give my name again. I'm getting something out of it, no? Worldly something, materialistic something. Oh, Prachi ne donate kiya. But if I'm behind it, anonymous donation or somebody or मुझे नाम नहीं चाहिए, name plate पे नहीं चाहिए. And please don't tell people that मैंने करा. Then it's different. Always be mindful, heartful of what our actions are. That are we operating from ego or love? Immediately you'll get an answer. And the best is we can't lie to ourselves. Even if we lie, we stand corrected. When I was young, I did not like anything touching my neck. I would not wear turtlenecks, scarves, chokers. In 2000, tumor was found in my throat that required surgical removal. Terror that I felt as the surgeon's blade lowered towards my throat was more intense than what would have been normal for me. It did not conform to my predisposition for sucking it up. Today, I wear a scar across my throat from that event. I've also had recurrent issues with losing my voice and many days for no apparent reason, absolutely no voice at all. This is despite 3 medical evaluations and speech therapy. Furthermore, a few years ago, I experienced a reaction to a medication that sent me into a panic, the likes of which I've never known. I became paranoid and thought my throat was closing up. I was convinced I was dying. I was fine, but it took me days to shake that emotional and unnerving fear. I went to see Donna, a clinical hypnotherapist, on a Thursday afternoon. True to form, I had no idea that day. Donna verbally coached me to relax my muscles using guided imagery to take me to a deep level of hypnosis. Finally, when I was completely relaxed, she had me visualize a library. I was drawn to a section of books on which Heather was printed on the bindings. Reminds me of Akashic records. I opened the yellowed and frayed pages of one book, and on the other right side of the open page was a colored plate, almost like one which could be found in a book of fairy tales. It was a picture of a knight standing in front of a white horse, which was kneeling down. The knight wore chain mail. He held a shield in his left hand and a sword in his right. His navy dark eye partially covered his right eye, and his drawn thin face was ashen. Donna instructed me to go into the picture, and within an instant, I was no longer Heather. I became the knight. I felt the extreme weariness of battle and lack of food, yet also a deep sense of honor. I had a sworn duty to fight, but an uneasy feeling that it was not just a cause. I was unafraid to die and would do so with dignity. There was no woman in my life, only love and tenderness for my horse. Donna progressed me in time a little further, and I was in combat. The ground was green, and I was on foot, fighting with my sword tight in my right hand. Although I was lying in the therapist's chair, my right hand was clenched and raised, as if holding the sword, and my left hand an imaginary shield. I could not unclench my fists. Suddenly, I was choking on blood. I had been stabbed in the throat on the chair in Donna's office. I felt as if my throat were closing up. I gagged and coughed. And I instructed me to pull out of the body and to watch the scene as if it's a movie screen. I tried, but the feelings were so real, the pain, the choking. I could not remove myself. Finally, blessedly, the pain stopped. I floated. Peace, peace was all I knew. My hands relaxed as I released my grip on the imaginary weapons. There was a peace I had never known before. There was no pain, no struggle, just an all encompassing serenity combined with a lovely floating feeling. There was no tension in my body. I felt freer, less constricted, eternal. I could have stayed there forever, but Donna was talking to me. I didn't want to let go of my night. I still felt him and didn't want to leave, but she guided me out of the lifetime and into the present. The session ended and I was overwhelmed. As I hugged and I thanked Donna, we both noticed that my voice was clear and strong. I started out hoarse and at a whisper now. I had a hearty voice again. Could it be that reliving the night's death resolved my vocal problems? Only time would tell. I was, however, ecstatic. In the days following, I awakened with a clear voice every time I answered the phone. I was pleasantly surprised. I became consumed with the desire to learn all about nights and to research heraldry. I finally understood why I liked certain cultures, music, art, and symbols, why I behaved in particular ways and had specific quirks, ethics, and a code that predated me. I had a better understanding of my fears and my strengths and where they originated. And although the healing benefits were surprising, and I had a great appreciation for my specific traits, this was not the revelation over which I am still in awe. After these experiences, I became obsessed with finding out more about medieval history. Today, I'm still curious, but less so. To focus on the minutiae and details and to miss the bigger picture. The real meaning, the real message is more profound than just the knowledge that I was a knight or any other person. If we accept the idea that we are far more than what this current life teacher tells us we are, the implications are far fetching. Our implication is that we are immortal. We will go on to experience many other lives with many of the same souls whom we have been with before. We will always find each other. So, till death do us apart is simply not applicable, for even death cannot keep us apart. Those who we have wronged will turn to us in another life that we are given the opportunity to transform the situation. Similarly, those who have wronged us will come back to right the damage. We will again meet our family, friends, and those we have previously hurt. It is a waste of time and energy to hold hostility and anger and to harm others. Even if we have to be presented with the same issues and the same souls 1,000 times, we will learn to love and purify our relationship. Take a break and put your hand on your heart and reaffirm to your heart, I am becoming more loving. I am becoming more trusting. I am learning to make my relationship so beautiful. I am love. I am purity. I am kindness. I am empathy. I am compassion. I am relatable. And now just tap on your heart 10, 12 times. And I come back to the chapter. Furthermore, I'm aware that I'm not the person I know as Heather. It is as if I'm wearing a Heather suit. The next time I may be wearing a Henry suit. This helps me to step back and look at conflicts and crises more objectively. I'm also just an awareness experiencing Heather's life. I now work on detaching from stressful situations, but it is still difficult because the feelings seem to be real and intense. When I experienced the night, the feelings were also intense and some seemed very real. So, what is real in this situation, in any situation, in any situation? Are feelings made real by their quality and intensity? Are Heather's feelings any more real than the night's? The power of experience is the same. Who should I pay attention to? This leads me to the conclusion that none of these are real. Only the awareness behind them is. These changes of perception or perspective affect the way I look at disease, chronic illness, and crises. It has affected the way I look at Heather's body and the way I look at incidents and Heather's reaction to them. My chronic illness is no longer personal to me. I no longer own it. It is merely something that Heather is experiencing, and there is likely a reason for it to experience it. It is a lesson that must be learned from living with disease. This helps to remove myself from the personal impact and to detach from the emotionality of it all. We were here to learn lessons about love and forgiveness. The only and when those lessons are learned, can we go on to graduate? My life is a scene through a new truth. Although this has been said 1,000 times before and in 1,000 ways, there's nothing like the experience to really bring it home. This new perception is undeniable now that I have witnessed and I felt it, says Heather Rivera. Heather beautifully summarizes the profound implications of reincarnational memories. We are far greater than our bodies and our brains. We are immortal spirits that incarnate here in physical form to learn the lessons that Heather highlights. Understanding the reality of reincarnation allows our fear of dying to diminish because we know that our consciousness survives physical death. You have lived before, you have died in that lifetime, and you're here back again in a new and different body. The part of you that continues on after the death of the old body and that reincarnates as a baby is often called the soul or the spirit or the eternal consciousness. The recognition that we are souls or never ending consciousness is incredibly liberating. We comprehend that we are spiritual beings, not just temporary human beings. We never die because we are never really born. What then is there to fear? If you were not taught the concept of reincarnation when you were young, and I certainly was not taught this and did not believe in it, it does not mean that the concept is incorrect. It is important to keep an open mind and to continue learning from these events in order to reach your highest potential. Heather was able to exactly this, and her life has never been the same. Trauma to the throat or neck in a past life may certainly cause vocal problems in the current life, yet, there are often possible sources as well. You might have been punished or even killed for what you said in a prior lifetime. The words themselves may have been lethal. The consequence in the present life is a powerful need to censor yourself or even to speak faintly and carefully in order to prevent a reoccurrence. Words can kill. When the cause and effect link is uncovered and understood, the symptoms usually dissipates. For Heather, physical problem disappeared. For Georgia, Mira's client and the subject of the next case, the nature of the symptom was emotional. It does not matter whether the problem manifests in the body or in the mind. The paradigm of healing applies to all. With this, we close today's reading, and it's time for us to do a centering meditation. So let's close our eyes, straighten our backs, be aware of the breath. There's no reason for any conscious forced breathing. Just be aware of this beautiful breath that's flowing in and flowing out. Be aware of the pauses that they take before being breathed again and before breathing out. If required, put your hand on your pulse where it beats, maybe the right hand. Remember when the doctors are checking your pulse. Put your hand there and feel your pulse pulsing. When you see it pulsating, be thankful for this beautiful world, this nervous system that's automatic. If you can feel your heartbeat, it's amazing. If you can't, you can keep your hand there and feel the heartbeat. And be grateful to your heart for the love, compassion, empathy, whatever you have in you, whether it's a lot or whether it's a very less. At least you have it in you. You're not devoid of it. Whatever you have, whatever you talk about expands. And right now, when you're talking about your kindness, your empathy, your love, and if you feel you have less of it, start talking about it and see it expand. Start operating from it and see it expand. Operating on it will exponentially help it expand because now you're doing the fact, implementing the learning. Observe your life. What if right now you were lifeless and our soul is hanging up there and is witnessing the life that we have lived? I request everyone to do that. Whatever gets scanned, gets scanned. Childhood, adulthood, pre-birth, post-birth, four traffic memories that trigger some remote emotional responses or something, whatever comes. Maybe your father's or mother's or grandparents' extreme love for you, or maybe somebody ridiculing you and making you feel not good enough. Just be aware of the thoughts that are flowing in. Be aware of this beautiful body. The brain has always electrical and magnetic pressure. Even in this wonderful body where there's feminine masculine energy, masculine energy is the electrical waves, and feminine energy is the magnetic waves. Without each, we are incomplete. So everybody is born with both the energies. So once again, if you feel the need to caress your body, activate your nadis, do that. Nadis are energy channels. And in your day, when you're anxious, when you're perturbed, when you're scared, and any kind of that emotion is coming up, your masculine energy is at play. And even here, they fluctuate. If you see, you put your one hand under your left nostril and right, you will feel that one place there's more heavy flow of air. One side is Ida, one side is Pingla, one side is masculine, one side is feminine. So you'll be automatically understanding at which part of you is activated now. This is an Ayurvedic test on you. And you can balance them so easily. These channels are used for spiritual awakening, for bodily awakening. These channels are responsible for the prana in our body, for the subtle body and the causal body. and help them to flow. And if these nadis were not activated, there will be blockages in our chakras, because chakra is a point from where the nadis intersect. The Ida being the left, the Pingla being the right, the Sushmana in the center. When left and right is fully in harmony, then Sushmana gets activated. That's why they say straighten your backs. The ultimate goal for each one of us is to unblock these nadis so that we can be liberated and free from any kind of unnecessary attachment. And to unlock these beautiful channels is not difficult. But when you keep unlocking them every day, you are getting liberated every day. And when you keep doing that, you will be able to do more of work around. You will be more energized. So be in tune with what's unfolding around you, inside you. It's all about the inner work. Each one of us has to do a lot of inner work. So be on that path today and forever. The more we work on ourselves, the more we're purifying ourselves. So let's keep purifying, and let's see each other tomorrow morning at 6. Until then, be blessed. Lots of love, light, and abundance. And I'll see you in the gap. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing this sacred space and making this beautiful morning of this wonderful week ahead so much more wonderful and meaningful. Happy Navratri to whoever today's in Nami. So today is a culmination of the wonderful 9 days. Be blessed. Thank you.